Hey everybody, Steve here, and today I'm coming to you from the crypto room. It's been over a year since I've come out with a crypto video, and I also just did a Welcome to the Channel 2020 video where I talked about how I'm going to be doing mostly automotive videos, which set a few people off. Got some nice, interesting comments. Let's take a look at a couple of those.
All right, so here's a prime example of one that I got. It says, "Fuck your car videos, wear the crypto vids. I bet you lost your ass, and that's why no more crypto vids." So that's a good one. Here's another one of my favorites, in all caps for emphasis. "You are a gullible douche. Mining is for losers. Lost all your money, ha 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 ha." This gentleman here says, "Still no profit in it, no more shames." Not sure exactly what that means, but all right. "Mining cryptocurrency is a gravy train with biscuit wheels." If anybody knows what that means, please just let me know. This guy was one of my favorites. Unfortunately, I ended up deleting this thread. He got all mad at me because I wouldn't tell him exactly to the penny how much money I was making cryptocurrency mining. Got to the point where he said, "I'd quit too. I was just looking up and people saying that the trend died ages ago." Well, if you're in it for a trend, you shouldn't really be in it, should you? This gentleman here kept it short and sweet. Here's my favorite one. "Hey, you get rich yet mining crypto? LOL, what the fuck? Get rich quick schemes and a bunch of Fred Flintstones out here thinking they can get money for free. Crypto schmipto."
All right, so somebody out there, please help me to understand something. If you hate something so much, why in the world would you go to somebody's YouTube video, watch a 42-minute video, and then take additional time to construct a nasty comment? I mean, what's the point? I can only guess that the people who do stuff like that are, maybe they took a stab at crypto and they lost a lot of money and they're bitter. Maybe they bought all their stuff at the wrong time and the market tanked and they're bitter. Maybe they just don't have a freaking clue what they're doing and they're bitter. And on that topic, this is something that I was going to leave for the very, very end, but I figure that the people that I'm trying to address in the first place probably won't still be here at the very end. So I'm going to throw it in now. This video represents the way I do things. It represents the way I have done things for the last 3 years. These are my strategies. This is what I do. If you think there's a better way to do it and you're shitty about it, I don't care. If you hate me, I really don't care. But here's the thing. If you've got something to say and it's constructive criticism and you say it politely, I will be more than happy to engage you in an open dialogue for the betterment of the entire community. But if you're shitty about it, I'm going to delete you, and I'll also give you a little bit of advice. If you're that passionate about something that you'll go and rail on somebody else's video, why don't you take the time to pick up a camera, learn how to use it, make your own video, and post it to YouTube. Let's get to mining in 2020. All right, let's start with the most obvious question. Am I still mining in 2020? And the answer is absolutely, you bet your ass I am. I've got 4 rigs behind me, 32 GPUs that are kicking out around 29 and change a piece. I'm averaging around between 940 and 950 megahashes, and they're on all the time. I've got an amazing cooling system above me with the whole house fan that keeps this room at a very, very nice 75 degrees, no matter how hot it is outside. So my rigs are running 24/7, but let me add something and let me make this crystal clear. Mining is just a piece of my crypto strategy. There are other things that I'm doing which will assist and complement the revenues that I make off of mining, and I'm going to share them with you here. But let's start with the inevitable, obvious question. Do I make money mining?
All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this whole thing. Using my numbers, I know I'm hashing at 950. I know my power consumption is 4438. I know my cost per kilowatt is 8 cents. My pool fee is 2%. And boom, drum roll please, I am making a whopping $8.54 a day. And you can see how that rolls out for the year. So you can see that for doing nothing other than sitting on my ass all day long and completely forgetting about my mining units, I'm making $3,115.95 for doing absolutely squat. Now remember, these are net numbers, not gross numbers. The gross number, here's my expenses over here. My gross number would actually be $62.25 or whatever that number is. But of course, we've got to take into consideration power costs. So
That's it. Thanks very much. See you later. What, you're still here? Okay. All right. So for those of you who are still here, let's talk about what's important. This number, it's a good number, but it's really not the number that's important to me. What is important to me is how much Ethereum did I accrue over the course of the full year. And according to this, and it's pretty accurate, I accrued 22.66 Ethereum in the year. Now, there are some astute people out there that are screaming at the top of their lungs bullshit at the screen. Why would they be doing that? Well, probably because this is a huge assumption that Ethereum was trading at 280.37 all of 2019. And for those of us who are in the know, Ethereum was not trading at 280.37 throughout the course of 2019. So what number can we use for the year 2019? Well, why don't we use every single one of these points on this line right here? So somebody's got to do the work. Might as well be me. Here we go. Here's Ethereum from January 1st all the way to 12/31. Every single solitary closing value. So what do we do with these numbers? How do we pick a number? Well, the only thing that makes sense to me is to pick an average. And here we go. If you look at this up here, this is the average of every single day in 2019. 2019, the average was 180.90, right? I guess this is the time where I'm supposed to say investing is risky business. I am not a professional financial advisor. Do not do as I do. Do not do as I say. Consider this video for entertainment purposes only. If you wish to invest, please seek the guidance of a professional financial consultant. All right, all I'm doing here is telling you what I do. All right. So think about it. When you buy a stock, coming up with a start price is very, very easy. It's whatever you get into the stock at. Like say, for example, on January 1st, if we purchased stock in the ETH company, the price that we would have paid per share on January 1st is 137.73. Now, crypto is a little grayer of an area because we actually, if we're mining, we accrue Ethereum over the course of the year. But we've got to pick a starting point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 22.66 from earlier, and I'm going to use my starting point of January 1st, which is 137.73. Now, here's the way I do things. I apply what I call the 10-10 rule. And what that means is that for every 10% a stock goes up, I will sell off 10% of my portfolio. So I'll make a sale at 10, I'll make a sale at 20, et cetera, et cetera. Conversely, if the stock goes down below my starting number, for every 10% it goes down, I'm going to buy 10% more. Okay? So that's my 10-10 rule. So let's look at how the 10-10 rule did for me in 2019. We're going to assume that I had nothing in my portfolio as of January 1st, except for the 22.66 Ethereum that I acquired because I mined all of 2018. That's all we're starting with. All right. So on January 1st, Ethereum was at 137.73. And lo and behold, one day later, it was actually up 11.79% at 153.97. This is the column that we're interested in. This column represents the percent change from 137.73. Percent change from our beginning number. This column right here, ignore that. That's just for my purposes. That column just represents the percent change from the previous day. But this is the column that we're interested in. Okay, so according to my 10-10 rule, once we either go up or down 10%, we're going to do something. Well, 153.97 is almost 12% more than the day before, so I'm going to issue a sell order. So I'm going to sell 10% of my portfolio, which is 2.2, given the 22.66 we were working with originally. And here's what I got to show for it.
2.2 times 153.97 is where I'm getting the 338. And here we're keeping a running total of how many shares. So let's see. Nothing really happened again until, oh, boom, look. 123.59 is 10% or 10.26% less than 137.73. So that triggered a buy order of 10% of my portfolio. And there's the minus number indicating the buy. All right. And it tells us that we're back at 22.66 total shares. So here we go. Here we go. Nothing's really happening. Nothing's really happening. And boom, we broke through the 20% barrier. So it issued another buy order. I bought at 105.01. I bought 2.2 shares, and that's what it cost me. And that's how many shares that we've got. Now we're at 24.86 shares. So coming down, day by day, day by day. Things are bad, things are bad, things get better, and boom, we're back to 14% above my starting price. 157.05, I'm going to go ahead and sell, and I'm going to make some money. So what are we doing here? We're buying when it's low, and we're selling when it's high. More specifically, we're not getting greedy. We're selling on the way up. So from 14 at this sell, nothing's really happening. Nothing's really happening. Nothing's really happening. Oh, it broke through 20%. All right. So now it's up 20% from our starting price. And we're going to sell 2.2 shares for that dollar amount right there. Now here, it's breaking through the 30%. It issues another sell order for that amount. And it's also keeping a record of exactly how many shares that we have. Keeping going down, 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 down. All right. It broke through the 40%. Issued another sell order. We got 16 shares left. Broke through the 50%. Sold a couple more. Here, it broke through the 60% and 70%. But I didn't realize it at the time, and only sold 10% of the portfolio. Quite feasibly could have been a 4.4 and would have made even more money, but we're just going to stick to the rules. So here it broke through the 80% and it sold again. All right. Here it broke through the 90 percentile and it sold again. And as you can see, I've got the number of shares is diminishing. So we're going 91. The next time it does anything, it's got to be at 100. All right, here's another situation right here where I missed it. This broke through 100 and 110. This could have been another 4.4, but let's not complicate it. All right, it broke through a new ceiling. It's now 111% higher than it was, and I sold 10% off. That's how much I've got left. It broke through the 120%. It broke through the 130%. And look, I'm really, really close to being out here. June 26th was as good as it got. And then it went down, and it went down, and it went down, and it went. I took all my profits, and I went away. There's a saying, sell in May, go away. This is actually a sell in June and go away. But look, nothing happened for like the rest of the year. Oop, here we go. On 12/17, we broke back through the negative 10%, so I bought more. And now I've got, and that's being reflected here. So because of all the buying and the selling, we made $5,324.26. So we're going to take that and we're going to add it to another number. Remember earlier when we said that my gross for the year was 62.25 or whatever, and we said, well, that was based on 280. We had to throttle that back. Well, if we throttled it back to 180, then instead of 62.25, the number is 4099. Okay, that's how much I feasibly made off of my 2266 based at 180. Now, obviously, this is gross. This is not net. We still have to pull that electricity number out. But as far as my portfolio is concerned, the amount of money in my Ethereum account, we're going to take this number, and we're going to add them together, and we're going to get 9423. So this number right here, this 129%, we went from what we would have made mining, about $4,100, all the way up to 9423. And that was a jump of 129%. Now, we made 129% off of this market in 2019. And let me show you something. If you look at January 1st, where the market started, let's January 3rd, it started at around 148 and it finished up the year 129, 128. It basically went sideways from start to finish. And we made 129% on a market that went virtually sideways. And the way we were able to do that was basically twofold. Number one, the volatility in the cryptocurrency markets. Huge swings, much, much more volatile than, say, for example, the Dow Jones Industrial or a normal stock. Secondly, we stuck to a disciplined program and we did not deviate from that program. Looking at some real data here, you can kind of see received. That's from mining. So you can see with all of these sell orders that I'm basically selling on the way up. And if you look at the graph for Ethereum based on January 1st, where it was, let's see here, 130, and then all the way up to a yesterday price of 281, you can see why all the sell orders. All right, so what you're looking at here is real live data with real live money. I took a little bit of Ethereum and I opened up a second account so that we could play with this. We're sitting here at 264 as of right this second, and my magic number is 150. That's the number that I chose to start at earlier this year, and in the previous clip I showed you that I've had several sell orders on the way up. So here's what we're looking at now. This is how I do this, so I don't have to think about it very much. Let's make the assumption that Ethereum is going to continue to go up. You can see here I've got sell orders that have not been executed yet. These are called limit orders. They're just sitting here and they're waiting. There's a limit on it. This says I want to sell a third of Ethereum when it gets to 310. That's my next benchmark. I think that's somewhere around 10%. A 10% increase from 310 is going to be at 338, 10% 366, 10% 395, and so on and so forth. And if I did my math correctly, these should be 10% intervals. So basically what I'm saying is Ethereum's sitting right here at 265. I've already had a couple sales in the 265 and 280 range. It has actually come back down now. So now I'm going to sit and I'm going to wait. When it hits 310, this sell order will be executed. Then that one, then that one, then that one, and so on and so on and so forth. Likewise, because 150 is my magic number, if it goes below 150 10%, I'm going to issue this buy order, and I'm going to buy half of an Ethereum at 135, then half at 120, half at 105, and so on and so forth. These are called limit orders, and there's no way that I would trade anything without using either limit or stop orders. These trades are going to sit here and nothing's going to happen until these thresholds are met. And when those thresholds are met, it's either going to buy for me or sell for me. Hopefully what we can do is in another 90 days or maybe 180 days, we can come back, we can revisit this exactly as it is and see where it lands. But all this is exactly the same strategy that I've applied with my real account for over 2 years now. And I'm not just doing it in Ethereum, I'm actually doing it in Litecoin and Ripple as well. All right, so one thing that I don't wish to even get into is the politics of all of this stuff, trying to predict the future. I mean, I know Ethereum 2.0 is potentially on the horizon, so I am aware of some of the peripheral things that are occurring that may shape the direction of Ethereum. But for now, I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing, and that is taking profits a little at a time as it goes up, and as it goes down, I'll buy a little bit more back, buy a little bit more back.
Now, another one of the biggest questions that I get from people, they ask me, should I start mining in 2020? And the answer to that question is, I don't have the foggiest idea, okay? I just don't. I don't know what your financial situation is. I don't know how technical you are. But let me go ahead and answer the question this way. If you don't have a clue what blockchain technology is, you shouldn't be mining. If you're wondering if you can mine Bitcoin with GPUs, you probably shouldn't be mining. If you think mining's just a fad and it's going to go away, you shouldn't be mining. If a neighbor down the street has a mining rig and it looks really cool with all the pretty lights and everything like that, and you want to have the same thing too, you shouldn't be mining. If you don't understand that mining is an investment and not a get-rich-quick scheme, then you shouldn't be mining. So here's the deal, or at least the deal as it pertains to me. Mining is just a part of the strategy. If you believe in blockchain technology and you understand it and you feel like it's going to be around for a while, then yeah. So where do I fall in all of this? Well, number one, I believe in blockchain technology. I think it's amazing. I think it's revolutionary. I do security for a living, and I know what the security implications are for blockchain technology. I think it's at its absolute infancy and is going to explode. So that begs the question, should you GPU mine? Should you CPU mine? Should you get one of those ASIC machines? I'm old school. I'm still using GPUs. They're paid for. They're making pure profit. I have no reason in the world to invest in like an ASIC machine for, I think they were going around $4,000. 600 megahashes, something like that. If that's the way you want to go, then fine, go that way. But to me, one little teeny tiny box that comes from China, where if it breaks, everything goes down and you have no recourse, what are you going to do? The vast majority of my GPUs, I bought locally. If one dies, it doesn't cripple me. I just keep going. But I take good care of my GPUs. I've got an amazing way to ventilate this room, and my GPUs never ever get above 70 degrees Celsius. So every single one of these GPUs has been chugging along for 2.5 years without a single failure. Is there going to be another run-up like there was in December of 2017? I sure hope so. But if not, long term, blockchain is a good investment. So throughout this video, I've referenced a few other videos. Feel free to just look in the description. I'll have links to those videos. Everything from building a miner to how I make money in a sideways market, BIOS flashing, increasing your mega hash rate, all of those things. I still feel that even though those videos are a year or so old, I totally feel like they still apply. All right, so I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the little bell so you get notifications anytime I come out with a new video. I'm Steve, sailing off into the sunset until the next video. I will see you then.